and welcome back, YouTubers. I saw something today that was so odd and weird that I feel the need to share it with you, and it lines up with this news story. I was at a park today with my daughter and my lovely Jen, and we were, just walking around, and I saw a sign that said, real skaters skate straight. And I just kept thinking to myself, do they mean like non-homosexual skaters? Or I couldn't figure it out. Like, do you mean like skaters don't skate while they're drinking alcohol? Or, I don't know, so no alcoholic and gay skaters? Yeah, really blew my mind. Just like this news story, Konami has announced that they will continue with the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Shoutouts to Alpha Omega Sin and Jim Sterling, because they're gonna milk the series. Starts with a K, ends with a big I wish they wouldn't do this. Konami. So, in an interview with Game On Daily, the Konami community manager, Graham Day, was asked whether or not the Metal Gear Solid franchise could continue without Kojima. To which he replied, yes, of course it can. Metal Gear is about the story. It's about the characters. And I think, wow, such confidence. So, why am I talking about this? Yeah, this is just one guy's opinion, and he's a community manager. He's not the one who really creates the series, but he then went on to cite Platinum Games being successful using their brand. Look at the things like Metal Gear Rising. That was an example of a title being taken in a new direction by separate teams with obviously hands in from other parties. And that game itself was very, very good game as well. And that was obviously led by a completely different team. And I understand what he's saying here, but I'll hit that in a minute. He confirmed Konami's stance has not wavered. He said, don't believe everything you read in the press. That's never changed. Things have been taken out of context, but that's never changed. And they're not going to be making more AAA console games in the future. That is what he's talking about there. But I need to really say a couple things about this. So, okay. So, number one, Platinum Games is a great game series. The work that they've done on Bayonetta and other games, they're taking on the Transformers game. They're very good in action-oriented games with RPG systems that incorporate upgrading somehow. They're very good at that, action-y, over-the-top games. And I'll tell you right now, the only reason they were successful with the Metal Gear one is that they didn't have Solid Snake as the main character, much less mentioned in passing in the friggin' game. The game itself was set in a futuristic setting that wasn't even remotely close to the series. I mean, some people would say, oh, okay, nanomachines are there, and cyborgs, Raiden, and Metal Gears, and things like that. But the only Metal Gear you really fight is in the first episode. And then you fight a big, kind of bossy Metal Gear, not really a recognizable Metal Gear, it's a new one. And then, you fight these interesting cybernetic, anti-Metal Gear unit soldiers, And there's multiple references to the series, there's multiple characters and things like that, but it is not a stealth-based Metal Gear Solid game. It's just not. It's a side entry into the series, and the only reason it succeeded is because it was fun to play in itself. I love that game. I love it to death. But if you took out all the references to Metal Gear and you just kept in outrageous stuff, just imagine it. Instead of having Raiden from Metal Gear, you just had Raiden, who not Mortal Kombat Raiden, just Raiden, which is really weird because Raiden uses electricity a lot too. Okay, anyways, just replace it with samurais, cybernetic samurais, remove the Metal Gear content out of it, and tell me right now that it wouldn't be a successful game. Because the gameplay was satisfying. Cutting up the enemies, the bad guys that were trying to kill you, defeating the bosses that were complete and total dicks towards you. Man, it's a satisfying game. It's a fun game. But I honestly don't think the Metal Gear Solid series is going to have the same punch to it that it had with game entries like Twin Snakes that took the source material and just remade the game. They didn't make a completely new entry into the series, they just remade the game. And the same thing could be said about these games that update the older entries into the Metal Gear Solid, ports, things of that nature. We still haven't seen a completely Metal Gear game being developed by someone, without Kojima's influence whatsoever. So we'll have to see if that actually does succeed. Because the old games on the MSX and the old NES one, yeah, that's not really a fun game. The NES one, oh man, that's a rough and hard game. I think the AVGN even talked about it. So yeah, there's the bar, guys. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me know down in the comments below if you think a Metal Gear can be made without Kojima and without Konami. I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. Good gaming, and as always, God bless. And now, the important decision of joining the Maverick Rebellion. We are a tight group of individuals who rebel against stereotypes and greater evils that are commonly accepted. ISPs, children being conned out of games, sexism in video games, enough is enough, and the Mavericks have had it. If you choose to subscribe, or stay subscribed, you are joining the fight against injustice by watching my numerous video topics. From net neutrality to publishers covering up botched releases, the Mavericks are always informed on the issues plaguing your gaming experience today. So don't be left out in the cold, and don't let those people keep you down. Join the Maverick Rebellion today and become a member of the community that will listen and engage with you. What are you waiting for? Just click subscribe and you'll be in good company. Mavericks unite!